What's up, OG gang? It's your boy Ducky OG from the OG Clan. I'm back again, and I'm bringing another reaction, man. And today we're gonna be reacting to "Not Everyone Needs a Podcast," and that's the truth, bro. That's the truth because everybody these days, like, I feel like everybody wants to take the easy route, bro. Like, if you're not gonna do what it takes to make your content different or put in the work to edit it and make it, worth watching, then like you shouldn't be doing it. Like, if you're just doing it to capitalize on your moment, like, I get it. Like, and I'm not even mad at you for real, but it's like you can't be mad at everybody's opinion whenever they opinionating. So with that being said, man, we gonna get right into it, man. It was Ducky OG, and this is Not Everybody Needs a
Look, I'm
Podcast.
gonna be the one to say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's gotta say it.
Yo, why you so mad? Why you so mad? Like, and I'm, don't get me wrong, I'm on his side with this. I agree. But, like, at the end of the day, don't watch it if it makes you this mad. Like, at the end of the day, they're just wasting their time, bro. But, like, you should not be this invested in content that you're this mad about. Maybe he's just dramatizing it for the video, and that's, like, good. Like, whatever, it's watchable. I like it. But, like, bro, if you're really mad, pipe down just a little bit, bro.
Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm gonna be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom. I want her to come. I don't know if this is weird to say.
What? In no way, shape, or form should you ever be forming those words in a sentence and putting them on camera and uploading it to a social media platform. That is wild. Oh my god. Wow. I wish I was the person I was before I heard that, because that's so crazy. Wow.
But I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say? Like, oh my gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you to have that.
Yeah,
too.
Why would you see? And you repeating it though, I would not like it. Yes, I get your point. It's bad. It's weird. It's goofy. Repeat it though.
I want you to have that as well. So it's like, is that weird to say? Like, I genuinely.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I want my mom to be getting down good.
I'm gonna give you some tough love right here. You know, this is gonna be the toughest love that you've ever felt. This love is gonna be tougher than a well-done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings. What even sparks this conversation? Like, how do you even get to this point? And why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more.
Reviews, bro. Like, why you acting stupid? Like, if you go act like you know about everything, bro. They uploaded this because they knew it was gonna make people be like, yo, what? Like, because why would you say this on camera? Why would you say this in general? But why would you say this on camera? Crazy. What the hell?
Often. You know what, man? I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No, bro, put the mic down. At this point, it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from Best Buy. Because I promise you, if there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players, rappers, children. The Hawk Tua girl just started a podcast called Talk Tua. Don't get me wrong, shout out to her for running up a bag off that one phrase, you know? I saw that she got 30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her, you know? I'ma clap it up for her. But why would I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying Hawk Tua and spit on that thing? You get me? The world could go without a podcast.
That's the state of our world. That is the state of our world, my friend. So, I don't know if you didn't know or if you're not aware, but yeah, that's where we are, boy. It's 2024, man. Catch up. Come on. Get with it.
From this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating, you know? Maybe, why don't I just check out one episode?
Can't do it as good as him.
Do it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hot to.
There you go.
Who are these characters? Like, look at this face. Oh my
You
god.
gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like
Yeah, this is awful. This is awful, and people are. There's no way people are watching this, bro. Are people watching this?
tuh. Yeah. Say it. All right, all together.
Hot to.
Hot tuh.
Hot to.
Say it aggressive, like
Hot
really.
to.
Remember when I said I wish I was the person before I heard that, or I was before I heard that? I wish I was the person before I was even thought of right now. After hearing all, like, what are y'all watching on the internet, bro?
After watching one episode of the Talk to a podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched, and I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk Tua Girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate you. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her opportunity like any other human being would in her position. But overall, I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these other podcasts out there. Yeah, she may be able to get some great guests on there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, like, the guests can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack, you feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Podcasts, after all, aren't the hardest thing to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard. And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why so many people are starting podcasts nowadays. But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty is like the craziest invention of man. I use that all the time. The saying lefty loosey, righty tighty. We just got a new machine. It's
Okay.
like it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah,
And
what?
it sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's a
Yo, these, like, this is who y'all giving mics to and giving hours of y'all days, bro, while you guys are eating and watching other things and just living your lives, bro. This is what y'all watching, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
forks like this that picks up a log and then it can open and close on it, and the left button opens it and the right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty, when I need to let go or grab on. It's the lefty loosey, I might get that tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes.
Why are you why are you glazing? Just say what you gonna say, bro. Like, it's like whenever you give somebody a bunch of compliments before you say yeah, but them boots you got on with the whole outfit, throw it all off. Like, just say what you gonna say, bro.
But there's got to be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we going to talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes? Or maybe even schist being the best rock there is? This conversation just feels so bland and pointless.
Yeah, this is so funny because this is what society is, bro. Like, with all of the elements of social media making it so easy for yourself to be an influencer, bro, like, that's the state that we in. Like, you look up a recipe online and then you got 1,000 people on TikTok saying, this is my special chicken and dumplings, whenever it's just a chicken and dumplings recipe that they just pulled offline that they're about to add some lemon juice to that people don't like. Come on, bro. Like, this is where we're at in content creation in general, bro. So, like, I'm not surprised. It's just, this is what we've accepted. So, like, it is what it is. What can you do?
Like, if an alien were to imagine two human beings talking, I'm pretty sure it'd think of this AI generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up. We now have dudes talking about screwing mechanisms as a topic of interest. Like, I don't think every conversation has to be important in a podcast, but there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tighty. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about nothing. I swear these podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts now, and what more is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tuah?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
Hawk Tuah. Spit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip, but good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like, it's everywhere. Dude, even at, like, Old Town, you'll hear Hawk Tuah remixes.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can, like, do one little thing and a clip can go viral and then all of a sudden the next day you're, like, a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it.
It's not a... It's... Like, it just is what it is. I don't think that it should be harder to make a podcast. I think the criteria for making your podcast, like, grow should be, like, I don't know, like, important, or if not, at least interesting. Like, why are we accepting that these guys are talking about, like, why are we all talking about her? Like, we don't, like, no one cares. Like, if she gets a little fan base off this, okay, cool, let her have her little fan base off it. She's not a celebrity. She has no marketable talents as we speak right now. I don't know if she does or if she's gonna display any in the future, but as we know it right now, she doesn't. So, like, just let her have her thing, bro. Like, why are we talking about her and giving her more clout? Like, just let this shit die out, bro.
This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara Desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight. You best believe I'm serving.
Yo, that is absolutely crazy to say, dog. That is so crazy to say, because I would definitely listen to these guys talk for 2 hours before I did that. What?
A life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no energy at all to this conversation. And you may be thinking, like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like
Yeah.
Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
Oh, I
think-
heard, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was just on.
funny. He's an ASIG.
Yeah. It was a
That's
really
dope.
good party.
This podcast just sucks. This convo just sounds so generic and bland. No energy at all. Just, what's your favorite frat? I like SAA. They're big. Oh my god, I heard cows there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is at 2
Yo. his little reiteration of the conversation was funny because like they didn't really sound like that. Like they sounded like worse, but he did kind of a good job. Like it is what it is with that. But like honestly, these there's a market for everybody. Like if people are watching this podcast, yeah, it should exist. Like it is what it is. If you want to watch that dumbass shit, then let them watch it.
pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip, because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host, because there's gonna be boring parts to a podcast, and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting when it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers, you know? He was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 Podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And note, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space. So this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's because it's just. But the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
Depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
you guys
5K?
guess. Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like,
I don't
like
really
3K?
I don't know
3K. So like he's like a number 2, or I guess like, well, he has like around 15 to 20.
Oh.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
That's
But
pretty
But to
good.
think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
That's true,
I feel
but
like it's
live,
good for
Live
live.
viewers,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's good for live, but think about the people in the world. It's only 15K.
15K,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing
Big,
yet.
big,
It's only
yeah.
mainstream because of the clips that they put out after,
Yeah.
which get millions and millions of views.
Right.
But no one's actually watching that shit live.
Yeah. No, literally, bro.
There's a few things that
I mean, they're not necessarily wrong, but they're not right either. Like I just wish they did. Like I just feel like he didn't explain himself very well. Like he kind of just like dragged one thing here, dragged one other thing over here, and just drew the conclusion.
pissed me off about this Dookie TikTok podcast. Number 1, this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back, you fucking idiot. So to make it more digestible for the average viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions of views. That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why is it surprising that a live stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has
What the
less
heck?
views than a
What the heck? Who just followed me in the middle of this? Hey, you guys aren't supposed to see that, but I guess I just got a follower in the middle of this video, so hey, thanks.
video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just
That's what some people's podcasts are, though. You really just sound mad, bro. I can't lie. Like I agree with a lot of things that this man is saying, but like you really just sound mad, bro. I'm just gonna just make what I'm saying very clear. I agree that a lot of people that have podcasts probably should not be making podcasts because they don't be talking about nothing. But at the end of the day, like they do, and if they have audience that want to listen to them just spew nonsense and nothingness all day, then let them have them, bro. Because like it's not hurting me. I'm just not gonna watch that dumb show.
gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there's a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl, and this podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go.
This is
You
the
need
fucked
to
up
start
part, though.
looking around. And I know, like, black people specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody
The whole
with you.
crew.
But you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I
Right.
should have known who Chris V is. I should have known who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally an AMP member. What do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I should know who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it. But them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you
Right.
guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat joined the group before he became this huge mega streaming.
That yeah, he's right about this. Like some people did, but that still doesn't take back what I said before. But like I do agree that some people just do be talking, like they'll hear something, they don't do any research, they just take it for face value, and then they like maybe they don't want to do any research because they want to be authentic in the way that they find out about the information and organically or whatever. But they just end up sounding like this and then looking really stupid. Because, like, what do you mean we should know who Chris Next Door is and yada, yada, yada? Like, that's crazy. Like, to even say that stuff, being a hater and saying he shouldn't have a group is wild. Like, because you don't even know where Kai Cenat came from. So, like, what the heck, dude?
Machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
That's how they got on.
Yeah. Having a team and making it with your team is very important.
But-
But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But
yes.
you gotta know when you are the one, like he is the one. I get it.
So he
cool.
should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone. Like, there was a journey of a camp of
They
them.
came together.
And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. He, like, bye, we're never speaking to you, cut ties.
Now that we are here and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now it can't keep happening.
Mm-hmm.
You have to insulate yourself because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap because everyone actually grew.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not an AMP fan for real. Like, I think they make really good clips. I think Kai Cenat makes really good streams whenever he does guest appearances with people, has certain people on. Cool, dope, whatever. Kai's a funny guy. I don't get super involved like that. But, like, to say that, like, that the group would be super popular without him, I don't know, because, like, I mean, they're all super popular guys, like, so, like, I dig it, but it's, like, I don't know, bro, like, because, like, I don't really, like, I'm not really a fan of any of them. Like, the only person I've really watched is Agent, and I watched Playback in their reaction videos, which was really cool, but, like, I don't watch Agent by itself, so it's, like, I don't see everybody's big infatuation, but they have really big numbers all individually, so whenever they come together, I feel like, yes, they would be popular, but, like, as popular, I don't know, like, that's subject to opinion, I guess.
Grew themselves before they were in AMP. That's why it worked so well as a group, because everyone had their own platform before joining. Except for Chris. He kind of created his platform after, but he was still pretty known. But this guy just knows nothing about what he's talking about. And this is my problem with so many of these podcasts. Like, if you're gonna put out a statement on any current topic, you gotta do the research to back it up. You're gonna end up looking like an idiot. You can't just go in willy-nilly on something that you know nothing about. That's why a lot of bigger podcasts like Joe Rogan have someone who can fact check, which is Jamie on his podcast. And if you can't afford someone to be in that spot, you should just look it up yourself before you put out this idiotic take on something you know nothing about. Like, there's a difference between a hot take and just a bad and uneducated take. And this right here is what I consider an uneducated take, because he just lacks the knowledge on what he's talking about. I like how some people on the podcast are like trying to tell him like, yo, it's not like this, it's kind of like this, but he just doesn't want to listen. He just decides to be ignorant.
I mean, it just is what it is. I'm gonna let the video go. It is what it is. Shout out to this guy for making this video super dope. Really enjoyed it, but I'm just gonna end it off with a couple thoughts. With that being, like, yeah, everybody shouldn't have a podcast. Like, duh. like everybody shouldn't be getting on camera and spewing their thoughts on the internet. But like at the current state in the world that we're in, that's what's happening. So like, get with the times. Don't watch content you don't want to consume, and don't be so invested, bro. Like I feel like us as content creators, especially people who make reactions or commentary YouTube videos, like a lot of time we resonate with the content too much, and we're trying to dictate what happens in the community, and we know how much influence that content has. So like, we're doing certain things and like manipulating certain things, and I say manipulation as in like, we're doing certain things in our videos to create certain outcomes or create certain emotions whenever you watch it, so you don't follow down the same path of that content that we just watched and we're telling you not to agree with. But I just feel like a lot of times, like, we should just step back, react to it, enjoy it for what it is. If we don't like it, we don't like it. But like, I don't think we should be getting so mad and so into it, because I just feel like that just shows people that like, people really do dive too deep into the internet, and I just kind of want to step back from that for real. Like, I do want to make content. I love making content. It's the greatest thing ever for me. But I'm not gonna be so deep in it that I'm like basically willing to kill for it, or like getting mad at people who suck at making content for making content. Like, that's just what it is. That's just how it's happening. But with that being said, man, if you enjoy mine, make sure you drop a like on this video. Drop a comment, let me know what you think down below, and make sure you sub so you can get more content just like this, man. And make sure y'all join up on the Discord, man. I appreciate y'all and everybody watching, but make sure y'all join up on the Discord. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, man. I'm your boy Ducky OG from the OG Clan, and my voice. Peace.